selected.
Initiating drone connection.
How's it going, everyone? It's Vaporware, and our first, live recording.
Yeah, you get to see us. Sans Daniel, who's a little camera shy right now, but. Anyways, I'm Omero, and this is Lewis.
Yep.
And I guess
we'll to see.
Yeah. So Lewis has a confession to make.
I'm here to tell you why Super Mario Brothers, the movie, is a good movie.
And I myself have never seen the movie. I remember when it came out to theaters, and I saw the trailers on commercials and went on television, and it just never interested me. I thought the movie was really not faithful to the source material.
All right, so I guess we can start off going from that. How would you make a good Mario Brothers movie?
Well, remember the cartoons that came out in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like the one, what was it, NPC or?
It was
Super Mario World, and there's the one with the Captain Lou Albano. And that was fun, but I liked the other one where it came out during Super Mario World, and like had all the characters, and like the animation was really good. It was really colorful.
That's true.
But I mean, it made they make that in the context of the movie. But at the same time, though, I think Super Mario World, in general, it just has a shallow storyline, in which it can't really make a
movie.
A decent movie. I mean, I'm sure they can. It's not impossible, but that's how I feel.
All right, so just a brief history about the Mario Brothers movie. It's very weird. It's kind of comedic and it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like the source material, as Omero said.
Yeah.
And when I saw it when I was a kid, and I loved it. I absolutely loved the movie. Why? I have no idea. Just something kind of stuck with me. And yeah, when I grew up, I realized, like, okay, this is like one of those really cheesy, cool 80s movies that I used to love, or 90s. But yeah, it's a movie that went through a lot of rewrites. It went through like 4 rewrites, and at first it was supposed to be kind of like a Wizard of Oz, sort of a Wizard of Oz
meets
just a Wizard of Oz fantasy, and then
it makes sense because Mario with all the worlds.
Yeah,
and
it's very
like
whimsical. And it was about like two brothers saving the princess and everything like that. Yeah. But I mean, I don't like. I think that the screenwriters that they went through for that, they probably couldn't generate enough content to make a full movie until they moved on to two other writers or 2 other directors, which turned it into a darker, sort of a grittier movie. And that didn't stick around for a while. Like they tried to get all these big names, and they tried to turn it into like this very very dark movie. They got like originally it was supposed to cast. They were supposed to get.
You're saying Arnold was supposed to be in it?
Yeah, Arnold, but
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton and Arnold were both chosen, both selected to play Koopa. It was gonna be one of the 2.
Or King Bowser.
Or Bowser, Koopa.
King Koopa, Bowser.
And Mario was gonna be Danny DeVito, but then later on, then they tried to go for Tom Hanks, but then later on, they went for Bob Hoskins because they just thought that he was the cheaper choice.
Yeah. And he was good in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He was also in Unleashed or Unchained or something with the Jet Li movie.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm trying to tell you why the movie was awesome.
Yeah,
because it was awesome.
He gave us a bunch of fun facts, but why is the movie so awesome?
Because it's fun.
Make me understand.
because it's a fun adventure movie. It's a fun cheesy adventure movie from the 90s. I mean, it has.
Was it 90s or? Yeah, it was. Huh?
Yeah, it was early 90s. I forget, it was like 93. Yeah, 1993 is when the movie came out. But it's just there was always something happening on screen. There was always some like interesting characters, And I don't know. I thought the dialogue between all the characters was fun. You know, you got to see what Mario and Luigi would look like in real life. This is a real life translation of the Mario Brothers video game, because I couldn't conceivably see a direct translation of video game to movie unless it was like a CGI movie. I mean, if it was like a cartoon, like you were saying, like then I can understand that being like, you know, like making more sense, because it would be very colorful, it would be very cinematic and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know, it was just this weird mixture of dark, kind of gritty humor.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think I see what you mean. Because I'm sure you really liked. Obviously, we all like Mario and Super Mario. You know, that came out, and I'm sure that, you know, when they announced the movie, it was a really cool thing. One of the reasons why I didn't watch it is because, you know, it really didn't interest me. I was really into Turtles at the time.
Yeah.
And I see what you mean when you were a kid, you know, you're watching the cartoons and all this. And,
what's it going to look like in the movie?
Film, right? And it's just like,
yeah,
you're going to love it regardless. It could be the worst thing ever. And I agree in many, you know, cases of my own IPs, the ones I like. I always tell my friends, I don't care how shitty, I'm sorry, how crappy, how crappy the movie comes out, but just to see my favorite characters on screen,
that's more than enough.
That's awesome. And they had John Leguizamo.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's what it comes down to, is that, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to convince you that it was a good movie, because more than likely, if you ever watch it, you're probably going to think it's not a good movie.
Well, not only that, but I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that, you know, just read somebody else's blog, or you watch clips on YouTube, or you just heard a YouTube
saying how horrible the movie was.
And then, you know, or you go on 4chan or Reddit, it's like, this movie's horrible. I believe you. It's like, go watch it. I mean,
even like, you know, like Angry Video Game Nerd, he did one on how like bad the movie was. I believe there's even a documentary on that movie, just like there's one for sorry about that. Just like there's one for the Fantastic Four movie by Roger Corman. But I mean, I don't know. I thought it was fun. It had a lot of quirky characters. You know, like it's just to me it was kind of like a what if. You know, what if they were real plumbers that lived in Manhattan? Because that's the premise. You know,
Luigi and Mario.
Yeah. It was like
they actually look like plumbers too.
They were plumbers.
Well, I mean,
but they were plumbers, and they looked and dressed the part.
Yeah, but I mean, like Leguizamo and what's his name, Hoskins.
Oh, just yeah.
You know, they gave that plumber vibe in context of the movie. I thought that was really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, maybe I'll go ahead and, you know, try it out. You know, check it out.
If you like cheesy 80s movies, 90s movies, this movie is like packed full of all that stuff.
Yeah, and also I want to interject and say that even though you read everybody's, like, you know, reviews on the movies on YouTube and stuff like that, I always take them as them, you know, obviously it's entertainment, but, you know, they also blow it out of proportion.
Exactly.
And you know these reviewers, I'm not going to name them all. You know, they're all great. They have, you know, really good channels and whatnot, but. You know, sometimes it's just like, come on, dude. You know, some of the stuff they complain about can't be found in any movie, and it's just like,
yeah.
You know,
I think that this movie is just an easy target.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, like, it's had years and years with people just saying how horrible it was, and the fact that, you know, it's not a Mario Brothers movie, or I should say it's not a Mario Brothers video game, but it is a Mario Brothers movie, because. I mean, how can you translate Mario into a movie? That's, I don't know. Unless you made it a cartoon. That's always been my standpoint on it. You know, because the cartoons were cool, but they worked because they were cartoons. You know, like, well, you were supposed to kind of, you know, remember that these characters are very colorful and bright and vibrant.
The way I actually see them making it into cartoons, like if it was Mario and maybe the entire Nintendo world. Like, remember the Ninja Turtles movie they made where they had all 4 generations of turtles.
Oh yeah, was it Turtles Forever?
Yeah, Turtles Forever. I could see them doing that with like the Mario franchise, where the world's getting destroyed and like all the characters have to get. Because I don't see a good movie in context of the story of Mario. Perhaps they have to maybe do something out of context, where the characters are put in different situations that you normally don't see them in.
Yeah. Well, the premise of this one was you had the world was kind of split into 2 different dimensions. You had the human world, and then you had the world where dinosaurs evolved into humanoid figures, but they were still descendants of dinosaurs, and they kept like some of the dinosaur qualities.
Are those the Goombas?
Well, the Goombas are kind of a de-evolution of the dinosaurs, which is kind of explained in the movie.
Okay.
It's weird, but the Goombas were kind of like dumb big creatures that were solely meant to be like soldiers for the purposes of this movie.
Or Dennis Hopper.
Exactly. Dennis Hopper, which played King Koopa. But anyways, the idea is that there's a missing piece that connects the 2 worlds. That the Princess Daisy. It's not Peach this time. It's Princess Daisy. She has this rock.
Oh, she's in it?
Princess Peach is not in the movie. It's Daisy.
Whoa, that's so when she comes out in the new games, that's like a real throwback, isn't it?
It kind of is, but I mean, Daisy was already out for Super Mario Land, and they decided to use her instead. Okay. It's not like the Mario games made Daisy based off of the movie. No, Mario Land was out, and that game was already made, and then they made the movie, but instead of using Peach or Princess Toadstool, whatever you go by, or whatever you like to call her by, they decided to go with Daisy. This is another cool thing about this movie. It's not focused on Mario. It's actually focused on Luigi. So you actually might dig that.
Luigi.
Yep.
Yeah. I prefer Luigi over Mario.
But it's cool because, so they don't make him a coward or anything like that. They actually make him the main focal point. Mario's definitely there to support him, and it's called Mario Brothers.
I think I felt like maybe Leguizamo was the bigger actor at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe the stronger actor. I don't know. Perhaps they were.
They probably want to focus on the younger. The younger aspect too, they didn't want like some old guy leading the show, and
I know you
like the whole like the love interest dynamic. They wanted him to have the love,
and that's
interest.
why it was Daisy, right?
And that's why it was Daisy. So
I don't know anything about the movie, and I never read the synopsis, and I don't really watch people's reviews about it. But is it true that Yoshi's in it?
Yoshi is in the movie.
Oh, okay. When we were kids, we were like, "Hey, is Yoshi in this?" Like, I never believed the schoolyard, and the neighborhood.
Yoshi does show up in the movie, and he's kind of a house pet. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but he's kind of seen as a just kind of like a domesticated dog or something like that.
Oh, I see.
But there's a little bit more to Yoshi in the movie, but you just watch it to find out. You can probably watch it on YouTube for free. Yeah. In fact, I know you can watch it on YouTube for free.
Yeah, the whole thing. Have at it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
All 1 hour and 44 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
I liked it.
That's cool. You liked it. I'm not thoroughly convinced, but since it is on YouTube, I could watch it while I'm drawing or doing something else.
Yeah, no, exactly. You just pop it on in the background. Like I said, it's just a fun 90s movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's better than a lot of the other 90s movies that we claim to like, but when you watch them again, don't really, stand the test of time all that well. Yeah. I can watch this and still have fun with it. And if anything, it's fun to laugh at,
Oh, yeah. Well, I like movies like that, though.
Yeah.
I like, bad movies like, recently I've been watching The Villain, or Cactus Jack, with
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas and Margaret and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it's an atrocious movie, but it's just fun to see Arnold in a cowboy hat.
Exactly, and that's what you're going to get when you watch this movie. You're going to see like a lot of outlandish scenery. I mean, especially when they when they transfer over to the dinosaur, Dino Hatton.
There's a Dino Hatton too.
It's called Dino Hatton. Yeah.
I gotta watch this now.
Yeah, it's called Mario and Luigi live in Manhattan, and then King Koopa, which is trying to merge the two worlds together.
Yeah.
Because he wants to rule over both. Yeah. He calls it, or rather, it's called Dino Hatton, and he
Dynamite.
Yeah, and he feels like it's a dump, and he's just essentially trying to merge the two worlds together to create, to kind of join them and to create a new world. Because Dino Hatton's like just filled with like pollution and junk, and it's overpopulated.
Sort of like the Bay Area.
Silicon Valley.
What?
Exactly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, hey, that's really cool, Lois. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's good stuff. Or
hopefully other people have a different opinion in regards to this video. So
yeah,
in regards to what Lois says.
Walk into it with an open mind. Yeah. I mean, you can listen to all the reviews, and they're all going to give it trash. But give it a watch. And
if you watch it already, reconsider. With new eyes, watch it with different eyes.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of sad about this movie, it's like even the actors, even the two stars of it, hated this movie. Obviously,
It was almost say he was like all drunk.
He was
the whole thing.
Yeah, he was drunk on set, and he came out and he said it's like kind of what led to his drinking problem. Mm-hmm. And Bob Hoskins, which is passed away and everything. But he said that it was his worst filming experience.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, he says it was of all the movies that he did, this was the absolute worst experience. Well, because the movie went through so many different changes. It went through becoming a fantasy movie, kind of like The Wizard of Oz, to a it
would have been better as a fantasy.
It would have been better as a fantasy, or to a dark, gritty movie, which was supposed to also was supposed to cameo Bruce Willis. He was going to be scaling the side of the Koopa building, and it was supposed to be John McClane.
That would have been fun, yes.
Just as a cameo, but I think they're biting off more that they can shoot with, cameos like that and characters like those, and then until finally it went over to a husband and wife duo that kind of directed the movie, and then that just got thrown way out of proportion. They wanted to throw in all these things, and that's why when you're watching the movie, it's just like a goulash of just a bunch of stuff just thrown into one movie.
So you're basically saying that maybe it deserves a second chance. They need to make another movie.
I think so.
They should do it. I think it could pass. Now that Mario's more popular than ever.
It ends off on a bit of a cliffhanger, so it probably. I mean, they did make a sequel comic.
Yeah.
Which is really bad, but I mean,
Hey, you're the one that wanted a sequel, so I take it too. I guess gotta be careful what you ask for, because I always wanted a good sequel to the original RoboCop movie. Yeah. Not to say that RoboCop 2 was bad, but everybody's all talking about Frank Miller this and Frank Miller that. He did a badass, and he complains about how they wrecked the script. And I finally read his comic book adaptation, and it was a shit, dude. It sucked. I was like, after that, I was just like, and I shouldn't let that be my judgment for Frank Miller. But
what was it? Was it just that it felt so drastically different from...
It made no sense. I can understand why they split that adaptation to two different movies.
Yeah.
Because it was way too much for one movie. It was all bloody and everything. That's cool, whatever. People, would like that, but...
Well, did he think that he can get away with more in the comic? And that's why?
Yeah, he did. I mean, there was a really cool panel that they didn't explore in the comic, but... Yeah. Hey, that's another discussion later, and maybe we'll record that. And, I think that we should do that.
Yeah.
But back to Mario, though. I like to see them remake the movie or make an animated feature or something like that. So,
animated would be different.
Yeah.
Completely different. Animated would have nothing to do. Nintendo since far removed themselves from this movie. They're just like, I'm not touching this. It's definitely a dark spot on their history. But watch it for its infamy.
Yeah.
Or watch it because you're just curious. The choice is yours.
Only you have the power.
Yeah.
Was that it, or?
No. It's the power is yours.
You got the touch.
You got the touch. Meow, meow, meow. You got the power.
All right, guys. This is Vaporware. I'm Homero.
And I'm Lewis.
And Daniel's off screen being like antisocial. So we'll see you next time.
See y'all next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching.